Good people of YouTube, I'm the Watch Idiot, and I've been waiting quite a while to make this particular video because the Tissot PRX still is probably one of the most anticipated follow-ups to what ended up being probably one of the biggest pre-Watches and Wonders releases, which was the Quartz Tissot PRX. Yeah, that one, you know, looked great, still does to this day, and it was offered at $375. So yeah, it kind of took the watch world by storm. So these two watches are very, very similar, no doubt about it, but how big of a difference does the automatic movement and the new dial really make in the end? In this video, we're gonna be comparing the two, you know, looking at all the differences between the two through some macro shots and then also with some outside shots to see what it really is like in real life. Then we're gonna be taking a look at if it's really worth the extra $300, the almost $300 that it costs over the Quartz one. So let's get into it. Okay, so real quick before we get started, I wanted to thank everyone here. And okay, so if you really want to skip, you know, just skip ahead. There's timeline over there if you really want to. Yeah, but I wanted to thank everyone because if you haven't already noticed, we passed 1,000 subscribers, which is crazy to think about. And yeah, I know I'm a little late to making this because actually by the time that this video is uploaded, it'll have been, you know, just about 2 weeks since we actually crossed the 1,000 mark. But yeah, I wanted to do this the right way instead of just like a quick, you know, comment or something in that. So yeah, huge thank you to every single person who's watched my videos, everyone who's commented, and then obviously everyone who has subscribed to the channel over the past 3 months as well. And yeah, I mean, I still can't believe that I'm actually making this, you know, thank you video, you know, at this point. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it means so much to me. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I can't put my gratitude, you know, in many more words than that. I mean, like, so yeah, so I mean, huge thank you once again. And yeah, I mean, I'm feeling the pressure quite a bit more just because, you know, I now, you know, have the subscribers that we're here as a community, and you know, I now feel the pressure to actually, you know, keep on putting out the videos I'm putting out and giving you guys the content that you actually subscribe for. So yeah, I mean, I am here for all of you, and it's been so much fun, you know, talking to every single person over here. It literally just feels like it's a big watch meet that's happening over in the comments. And actually, in a way, it's kind of just, it's come full circle. You know, I started with the PRX, and I'm celebrating the 1,000 mark with another PRX. New and improved PRX, I guess I would say. You know, maybe my channel's new and improved too. I don't know, that's for you guys to decide. But anyway, let's just get into it. Okay, and real quick, I'm gonna include all the dimensions over here, and obviously I'm going to be including it in the description as well, just in case you want to take a look at it a little bit longer. Pretty much the only difference between the two is the thickness, which is comes down to the automatic version just being 0.4 millimeters thicker than the Quartz one. So other than that, it's identical. So on to the dial changes, and this is obviously the main place where you're going to notice all the big differences on the watch, you know, obviously other than the movement. But this is where this Tissot decided to differentiate the automatic model from the Quartz one, and pretty much upgrading it in every single aspect almost. So it has a tapisserie dial, otherwise known as the slightly less elegant term of waffle dial, and yeah, it's pretty clear where the inspiration for this dial came from, you know, as you can see here. But yeah, it's still a really great and intricate dial, and it adds a lot of visual interest, you know, having all those extra textures. And also it actually keeps the sunburst effect, so it keeps it, you know, the same as the Royal Oak. In a way, it kind of looks doubly impressive that it has, you know, all that put together at a price of $650. And the dial compared to the dial of the Quartz PRX is, you know, a huge step up, honestly, because the Quartz one, you know, it looks great. The sunburst is there and it looks really nice in the sun, but from a lot of angles, you can really see the matte finish and the very plasticky finish. I mean, that's not very pleasant to look at, and especially because I know that it is possible to get a really great dial for less, because my ISL 27 and also the Zelos Swordfish 40, you know, both of which that I've reviewed before, both of those watches are way cheaper than the Quartz one, and they both have really great sunburst dials on them, and that doesn't look plasticky at all, pretty much. Additionally, the blue itself is a deeper blue compared to the relatively muted blue dial of the PRX. And I love the actual color tone of the Quartz PRX just because, you know, I do like more subtle colors, but either way, the new blue does feel like it's upgraded for the Audemars. So the hands and indices are identical between the two and they still look really great, but as another difference, the Powermatic 80 version has a Powermatic 80 written below the PRX name. So just so you know that you're wearing something a little bit more special. All that is great, but my absolute favorite detail of the dial is the silver frame around the date window. And if you go back to my Quartz PRX video, the very first one, you'll see that one of my complaints about that watch was that it didn't have any sort of frame around the window, which made the date window look like it was a complete afterthought. Now this dial looks like it's been designed to look like this from the start. And I really do think that, you know, brands out there should just embrace the date window if they're gonna put in a date window. So obviously 6 o'clock position is a lot better, but if you're gonna do it at 3 o'clock, do it. Just fully go into it full force and accept the fact that you have a date window and, you know, make it special, make it part of the dial since it is already part of the dial. Okay, so now on to the movement, and this is obviously the biggest change that pretty much everyone has been looking forward to since the Quartz release, and that was pretty much regardless of what the new dials would look like. So this has the Powermatic 80 movement, which is an upgraded version of ETA's good old 2824-2, and everything pretty much stays the same in between the two for the most part, but obviously the biggest upgrade for the Powermatic 80 version is the fact that it has an 80-hour power reserve, which is double the 38-ish hours of power reserve from the old movement. And yeah, this is easily the most consequential upgrades a movement could possibly have. It's a practical upgrade that, you know, I can put the watch down and I can, you know, wear a different watch, which I always do change around, and I can still wear it without having to reset everything and having to worry about what time am I setting at, am I going to be setting the date movement, no, I don't want to deal with that. I'd just rather have 80 hours. So that's a little bit of a ramble, but anyway. And the Quartz version has the ETA F06.115 end of life Quartz movement, which is a solid movement. It's been keeping time really great since I got it 4 months ago. And yeah, I can't really fault it for that matter. So the change in the movement led to another change in the case actually. So the thickness of the watch is a little bit different. I measured the Quartz version at 10.5 millimeters, which is, you know, really nice and thin, and the Powermatic 80 version comes in at 10.9 millimeters, which is actually really thin for an automatic watch that has a sapphire crystal case back and 100 meters water resistance. So I mean, that's a pretty awesome thing to do. But yeah, either way, I'm really happy just because this means that both watches wear amazingly on the wrist and it's super comfortable, and a lot of that really comes down to the thinness of the mid case, which makes the watch wear even thinner. The case is, you know, pretty much identical in terms of finishing, just because the finishing and the brushing on the top of the case and also on the lugs of the case on the Quartz one is absolutely amazing. So I'm really glad that the Audemars, you know, has that same level of quality as one should expect for, you know, nearly double, not nearly double the price, but for a lot more money. And my favorite detail on the Quartz one, which is also the case over here for the Audemars, is the beveled edge on the top of the case. And I absolutely love it when watches have this detail, just because it adds, you know, a little bit spice to the watch, and it just adds a little bit something extra to look at. And also helps that the bevel is actually really well done, so it's at the same level of quality as the entire brushing of the case, meaning that the transitions between the brushed and polished edges are really nice and sharp. Okay, so the bracelet is one of the areas that they kept exactly the same between the two. Yeah, this is great just because the bracelet was really well made on the Quartz one, and it was super comfortable, and it was just a great experience on that one. So I'm glad that it, you know, carried over. The links are really nice and small, so it drapes over the wrist really nicely, and you know, the small flat links also lead to some really awesome light play. So it's a wrist roll machine. But my absolute favorite detail of the bracelet are the polished bevels on the tops of the centers of the link, and this helps break up what could have been potentially a bit of a flat design, just because each link is one piece, and it helps elevate the entire watch just because, you know, it adds a little bit of a design cohesion throughout the entire watch, because the case, as I mentioned, has that little really nice bevel on the top of the case. So yeah, that little bevel, you know, plays really nicely with the bevel on the bracelet over there. So yeah, just it looks really incredible that way. And so I guess there's one negative that they didn't solve, and it's kind of a negative. It's a weird situation. They still have those super bizarre quick release spring bars. And just as a little disclaimer, I mean, I absolutely love it when watches have quick release bracelets. In fact, in my Zelos video, I said that this is the hill that I will die on, because I seriously think that every single bracelet should be quick release. You know, it just makes life easier for the customer, and it gives the the brand an easier way to just sell more straps if they really wanted to. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, every single one should be quick release for sure, forever. But the reason why this particular quick release setup is bizarre is because the lug width is only 12 millimeters, which means that the only reason why it exists as a quick release is because there would be, you know, PRX specific straps that Tissot sells. Sounds perfectly logical, and I would totally buy a rubber strap for it. But they still haven't released any extra straps for it, and they've released 2 sets of the watch as well. So okay, I was like, you know what, maybe they didn't do it for the you know, the Quartz version. Maybe they'll release it with the automatic one, but nothing. I have absolutely heard nothing about it. So maybe there's gonna be, you know, maybe they're gonna be releasing it a little bit later, but it's still so weird to me that they haven't released these straps, because it would be such an easy moneymaker, honestly. Because I mean, let's say they sold each one of these at like $40 or $60, and the margin on straps is huge. So it's a no-brainer, because I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only PRX owner who would like to get some new straps for it. And also the straps would solve the weird jutting and link problem of it not, you know, flowing right with the case of the bracelet. So, and yeah, it'll just be such a nice option. I mean, come on, guys. It's so easy, so easy. Okay, so who is this automatic version for? Mainly, it's gonna be the people who loved the PRX when it first came out, but really didn't want to get a Quartz watch for whatever reason. Also, you know, for those who are, you know, maybe just now looking between, looking to choose between the 2 versions, I think the dial can sway different people in different directions, just because the different dials really do make for very different wearing experiences. Of course, all that being said, you know, I feel like I've been ragging on the Quartz a little bit throughout this entire video. It still is an absolutely amazing watch, just because I think you're getting pretty much 95% of the experience for, you know, almost $300 less, which is, you know, not inconsequential by any means whatsoever, because you're getting the same hands, indices, case, bracelet, all that good stuff. And alongside that, you know, you get the utility of having a watch that you can just pick up and wear whenever you want. The perfect version of the PRX would be a quartz movement in the Powermatic 80 watch, so I can get the dial on that. I think that would be pretty awesome. And yeah, I mean, I still prefer the quartz movement, just because, you know, I don't really, you know, wear it very often. I wear dive watches most of the time, and, you know, I don't have to worry about, you know, setting it whenever I want to wear it. And also I don't have to worry about setting it between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m., which actually happens quite a lot. So yeah, I don't have to worry about any of that. So yeah, that takes care of everything. And yeah, just let me know, you know, down in the comments, you know, which one you guys would choose at this point. You know, is the automatic version something that you've been waiting for ever since the release of the Quartz one a few, you know, 4 months ago? Or, you know, do you have the Quartz one, and, you know, how much do you love it? Or do you maybe want to sell that one to get the Powermatic version of it? So yeah, let me know down in the comments, because it's really interesting to hear everyone's take on it. And as always, please do hit the like button, and because it helps a whole bunch. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one and the videos that I did in the past. You know, hit the notification bell while you're at it, you might as well. So yeah, until the next one, good day.